Well, a very good morning, Brenda. Actually, as you've put it, the number now stands at 16. 8 extra students having been arrested between the last time we were here, that was on Monday last week, and over the week, and Thursday, because by Friday, the entire number 16 they were taken for their age to be determined. We are yet to get the details on how that was done, but that's the latest that we've got so far. And this morning, the 16 are already being held here, awaiting to be arraigned in court before Senior Resident Magistrate Gladys Adhiambo, right here at the Ukwala Law Court this particular morning. So I've talked with one of the lawyers who's representing but one of the students, and I say that she has stepped out, and she probably will be joining me here if she will be here in good time to probably tell us more about what has developed so far. So as we speak right now, the 16 are yet to be arraigned before Senior Resident Magistrate Gladys Adhiambo so that they can take plea. Remember, the last time we were here, the CIC Criminal Investigating Officer, the county CIO, that was Moses Cheriot, say that more arrests were going to be made, and true to his word, more arrests have been made, and now we have an additional 8 from the 8 that was arraigned before this particular court on Monday last week. There was that request by the prosecution for the 7-day for them to be granted 7 days to allow further investigations, and hopefully this morning they have something concrete to present before court regarding the misconduct and the disturbance of peace. Some of the mistakes or offenses that these minors allegedly made. Another thing is that we don't know the details about the extra 8, whether all of them are minors, because the last time we were here, all the 8, the 7 say that they were 17 years, which means they are minors, and one of them say that he was 16 years. So this morning we'll also be trying to establish whether the second batch of 8 that were arrested in between last week, Monday, and Thursday, are actually minors like the others who were here before this particular court last week. So those are some of the details that we are waiting to piece together. And of course, once we get them, we'll also keep you posted on that particular development, Brenda.
And Kevin, let's talk about evidence. And when you were in court last week, there was the prosecution also, of course, rather, the senior magistrate Gladys Adhiambo actually saying that the prosecution also needs time from the argument to get a hold of the phone that was being used. Might you be having information whether the prosecution have gotten a hold of this phone?
Well, yes, this particular phone will be very key in this particular case, given what we need with the Electronic Evidence Act or something like that. And they say that this particular phone was likely to be in Nairobi, and of course there was there's a hunt for it. And I'm yet to get any whether they got hold of this particular phone in question that was used to capture this particular video, which will be really key for the prosecution. So that is one information that we are yet to get. But of course, once I get hold of Moses Cheriot, who is in charge of this particular matter, I'll be able to get that and probably share that out. But as of now, what we know is that they were really keen in getting this particular phone in question that was used, and it's not clear right now yet whether they got hold of it or not, Brenda.
Right, and Ogutu, just before I let you go, my other question is, of course, last week the 8 agreed to the charges that was being leveled against them. They accepted the mistake they did. Are we likely to see the 8 who've also been arrested, bringing the number to 16, also, agreeing to the charges that will be leveled against them by the prosecution team? Well, that is still not clear, because they could either agree or not, because even for last week, in as much as the magistrate gave the prosecution their way regarding 7 extra days having them in custody as they conduct the investigations, one of the minors, we won't give the name because they are minors in the first place, actually say that they started bringing up the issue of he is not involved, and therefore he is not for that particular matter that is being held for further days. But then again, the senior resident magistrate made it very clear that what they were doing was to allow them time, and if at all there will be nothing substantive to warrant to warrant the charges or to make the case prosecutable, then of course they will be released. So one of them was actually objected to that, but the 7 say they were okay with being held in custody. So Regarding today, the matter that is coming up before the same senior resident magistrate, of course, the 16 of them will be facing those very same charges, and therefore, depending on what the prosecution have, they will be expected to either plead guilty or not guilty to the charge. I'm yet to get hold of that charge sheet. So, of course, because this is still what is being prepared right now, and once again, that, of course, we'll be able to follow through and see whether they will be pleading guilty or not guilty to the charges that will be leveled against them. So any moment from now, once they're done with the preparation of the charge sheet and putting every other bits together, they will, of course, be taken to the courtroom to face off with the prosecution and the senior resident magistrate here. So as at now, they're still being held, and of course, any moment from now, as I mentioned, they will be trooping to court, and then from there, we'll be able to pick the proceedings and get to know the developments therein. Brenda.
So, Gutu, from your last statement, it means that the students are not yet, have not yet arrived at the Ukwala law courts.
Come up again, Brenda.
I'm asking from your statement, it looks like the students have not yet arrived at the Ukwala law courts.
No. What we are informed is that they came here a while back, the 16 of them. They are being held in the cells here. And of course, once their judges, once their lawyers, as I told you, one Linda, who is a lawyer, is representing one minor in this case. And of course, we had also Agri Mwamu, who had volunteered to be a pro bono in this case. But then again, he was yet to meet his clients. So we have so far 2 lawyers representing these particular minors who are involved in this particular offense. That is, of course, hurling insults at the cabinet secretaries, claiming that they are cheated in exams. So once they've put everything together, then they will be able to carry on, because if the lawyer has not yet really had an opportunity to interact with the clients, then it becomes a little bit complicated to have him really represent the person or the persons in court. So these are some of the finer details that this one lawyer, Linda, together with the Agri Mwamu, they are finalizing, and after that, of course, they will be getting to court, and that will now, at that point is when now the 16 will be brought to court to probably